Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jamie or Indigo. Unfortunately, Oliver's not here with me, but he will be because he's currently scoffing his face with food. So hopefully, Oliver, when he finishes, he'll be here with me tonight. How are you all doing, by the way? It's nice to see you all. It's been a long time since we've been commentating back here. It feels like a long time, which it hasn't been only a week ago. But yeah, things have happened in between. And we are here for this 18-minute qualifier session around here at Zandvoort, this tricky track, this fast-flowing circuit. And there's plenty of mistakes can be made around here with the high-speed corners. Belly, how are you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Noldus as well. Nice to see you here too. And hopefully you're doing good as well around here at Zandvoort. So we'll see what happens here tonight. It's 15 drivers on the circuit, which is unfortunate. We're hoping to see more, but 15 of them, it should still provide us some great racing action. And in Div 3, not much going on around there. And Belly, I don't know if you won, because I did see a bit of Div 3, but I'm not quite sure what happened there. So hopefully you had a good race yesterday, Belly, as I know you didn't have one in Miami finishing 4th place because you were on a winning streak, weren't you? But here comes Klusler. Now, this man has shown some decent pace recently, and yeah, he won. Congratulations, Papelli. As we make our way towards Tarzan now, this slow right-hander we go, carry the speed through before we get back on the throttle. Once again, look at the ERS usage there, already down to 50%, but with the battery mode, you can easily save that too, as we head down towards turn 3. In the banked corner, we don't use the high line on the game, but we use the low line in this game, unfortunately, because it's not been quite modified to suit it around the outside there. If you do go around the outside, then you're most likely to lose the speed and go off the track. As we make our way now towards this quick right-hander we go, as Klusler rounds off the first sector, and we'll see what he could do for the remainder of the lap. Is this right-hander we go, it's slow speed right-hander, get on the back of the throttle as soon as the car is straightened up. Now we flick our way into this left-hander we go towards turn 10 with the DRS wide open then, and he's still in medium mode. Even though he's used medium the majority of this lap, he's still quite low on the battery. I did do a race out here a few hours ago just to see how it is. It's not too bad, but it can be quite difficult because trialembics can catch you out as well, especially down at turns 7 or 8. And also, it's very easy to make a mistake around here with the high-speed corners and heavy braking zones too. But here we are then. It's basically around the back corner, the final corner, as the DRS will be enabled. He sets a 10.7 for his first lap. I believe I did a 9 something, 8.8, 9.0, and that was my best lap. So 10.7 there for Klusler. We'll see if that will be beaten. He's got a Haas making his way towards the finish line now. We'll see who that is. I think it's Joachim starting a flying lap. He has been quite lucky. He's like Zeno. He has a good qualifying session, but ends dramatically in the race and unfortunately gets nothing out of it. So Joachim really needs to sort out his race pace, unfortunately, his race consistency, because he really has been struggling so far this season, especially the racing. As Calvin goes quickest with a 10.1, and he's 6 tenths quicker as in Mills, who scored his first podium last week in 3rd place at Miami. I do believe somebody has joined the party, which is Oliver.
Hello.
Hope you enjoyed your food.
Oh, it was lovely. A bit of chicken Kiev, vegetable and chips with salt vinegar and red ketchup. Lovely. A pure British dinner.
Well, I've ordered a takeaway, so it hasn't been eaten yet, but after this stream it will be eaten.
Oh, definitely. So how's the qualify coming on?
We just started, mate, and Calvin Race is currently in P1. He missed last week, didn't he? As it was his teammate Cassidy who was trying to fight with the win. But it wasn't Cassidy or Adams who won, unfortunately, because Adams picked up a post-race penalty. I presume 17, where they both made contact and put Klusler on the wall, which made him lose his end play. The stewards saw that as Joachim goes quickest overall with a 9.8 then, so that's a good lap time there from the Haas man. But it was Mansell who won the Miami Grand Prix, post-race win for him. That was his first win of the season. He's currently down to P11, but has retired from this session. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him.
He's got a quali ban for a you know where he crashed himself out in Miami, and
yeah.
he got his teammates sort of reported him for it. So it's a bit weird. Yeah, his teammate reported him for the incident, and it gave Mansell the quali ban, which is quite odd for the Aston team to say the least. But we move. But here comes Martin now towards the line to complete his final lap. It's going to be a 1 minute 10.0 P2 for Martin.
So Martin, a great qualifying session once again. Didn't have a good race back at the Miami Grand Prix due to contact with MCFC. Those two came to blows and didn't end well for those either. But Keith, who makes his return now, puts himself into 10.3. He's currently down in 6th place in the championship, 3 points away from Sonic Hawk, who Sonic Hawk had a quiet race himself back at the Miami Grand Prix. We didn't see much of him, but I think he finished in P5 during his race too. We'll see what MCFC is coming around through turn 2 and turn 3 now. We drop downhill as you want to show the car to get on the exit as quickly as you can on power, because it's very easy to lose the back end, especially with all the tyres, especially being stuck in dirty air as well. And also, Oliver, we've got some news after Zandvoort. Franco Colapito has been replaced. Oh, your MCFC almost lost it there, but let me do that intro again because I do believe I messed up his name. So, Franco Colapinto has replaced Logan Sargent for the rest of the season in the Williams. How do you think that would go?
I know. Yeah, the thing is that with the reacting to the news, I'd seen the understanding in the move. I mean, Logan Sargent, he was a big star in the F2 series, but when he came to Williams and in F1, he just didn't seem to go forward from there. He picked up like a couple of championship points here and there, but it just didn't seem to work well for him. Now that Calapinto, or what we'll call his name, has got into the seat now for the rest of the season, it's most likely it's going to be a move that Williams are going to make because they got Albon and Carlos Sainz for next season, so I don't know where Calapinto's going to go in to that fold, but it looks like he's given the rest of the season seat time, and hopefully that'll be beneficial for him. But yeah, I understand the move, but it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Logan. He needs to sort of rebuild himself and see him get back into F1 in the years to come. It's Matt G. He's got purple in the second sector. It's gone a tenth quicker.
And we'll see what Madju can do for the rest of the lap then. Here he is in the Alpine, scored a podium back at the Bahrain Grand Prix as Keith went to win the race, but I don't think Madju's on a proper lap. He's going to go into the pit lane then. The ERS was turned off. Burmeister is on the medium compound tyres, now on the soft, so that needs updating on my screen there. But when we were at Zandvoort last weekend, it was Lando Norris who dominated by 22 seconds, the biggest margin we've seen, I think, since the Lewis Hamilton win back in Saudi Arabia 2021. Who would have thought? Yes, McLaren, we would have thought, had the pace to do it, but who would have thought the margin? That's how big the upgrades were. They had the biggest upgrade since the Miami Grand Prix. Will that continue? Will the constructors get even tighter? The answer is yes, for sure. But I think Verstappen still has the Drivers' Championship in hand due to the amount of points he has, due to the first race of the first few races of the season. Did you know that OWI Mills is a Nordic line dance champion? As Lord Danny Boy always provides some fantastic facts as Adams qualifies in P4. Laser says hi in the chat. How are you doing, mate? But Laser, Adams
Jamie,
in P4.
can I just interrupt you for a second, actually? If you look on MTFC's camera, look at him. From where I'm looking at the moment, he looks like he's in the pits, but he's in gear.
Oh, you've got that glitch, because for me, I'm on board with him. He's currently running around in turn number 7 or 8, I believe it is, before we make our way on the DRS, so he's on the track.
I got that glitch, yeah.
I think it's because you joined in late, you have that glitch, of course, because Sonic Hawk disappeared for me. He was invisible, but thankfully he's not. We could see him in full sight. Currently down in P14, but yeah, Adams is who I want to talk about in P4. He's currently coming out of the pit lane right now. He won a fantastic race back in Miami. Started on 11th, made his way through the field, but that moment with Klussler, I thought he had the apex, but unfortunately he squeezed out Klussler, which broke his end plate, and that was the moment that decided his fate. That cost him, unfortunately, and dropped into P2 on the end. So it's another P2 finish for Adams. He's got 4 podiums this season as the McLaren driver, but he's still yet to win a race. And we said it last week in Miami where he deserved the victory so much after everything that happened in qualifying. But unfortunately, just one little incident puts him on the back foot and puts him in P2 at the end. So can he finally win a race this season? I think the answer is yes, but it all depends when, not if. So Adams still got to make sure he still keeps composed. Don't let him bother him, because that's still a good result, because I think he's quite high up in the championship, if I'm not mistaken, or leading it, as I said last week. But yeah, he's got to make sure that penalty doesn't really bother him and he can let go of it, because he's still P1 in the championship by 3 points ahead of Manso. Manso gained a lot of positions. He's currently in P2 so far in the championship, but unfortunately he's dropped into 50th place due to a qualifying ban. So Aiden's got a lot of work to do, so has Manso, as he makes his way down towards turn 1. I'm going to stay on board with the McLaren driver as he picks up the throttle, uses the curb on the outside to lean on it. Now making our way towards turn 2, flicking into turn 3 before we drop down into 4. Plumavash says, good evening, lads. Good evening to you two, mate. As he gets back on the power once again, using a bit of overtake on the exit there as we climb uphill now as we make our way now into Skyflop. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but he's a few hundreds down in the first sector. It's a flat out corner, constant change direction before we just lift off. Going into turn 7, make our way towards 8 now. Slight downshift and also understeers off the track. Does Adam? Did he carry too much speed there? It's definitely compromised him. I believe he's backed off his lap due to saying no EOS. So unfortunately for Adams, that lap is ruined.
So yeah, I'm about OWR Zenon. It looks like he's about to start his flying lap now. Zenon, let's just talk about Zenon for a moment. When he was in Miami, the move he made, he saw of the season, but unfortunately he sort of mucked it up himself and put too much power on the exit and sort of spun himself into the wall and ruined his race. Is today, well, now I say that now. That's his commentator's curse right there. Holy shoot.
Right, we're not laughing because of him, we're laughing because of the situation. So we say every single race, is this the race where he doesn't spit out?
Oh no! Zenon's been disqualified.
Oh dear me.
No.
Can it go any worse for Zenon there? Emails is up into P1. Where was he before he got disqualified? Was it P4 or P5? He was definitely high up there.
He was P3.
Oh dear me. I don't. When we laugh,
no,
it's
you're
because
right, it's P4. It's P4. Yeah, it's P4. Yeah, it's the reason why we laugh because the way I said it just before he span. That is so frustrating.
Yeah, don't worry, Zenon, because we're not laughing at you. We're just laughing at the situation. Like every time we say, "Is Zenon finally going to have a good race? Is he not going to spin?" And unfortunately, he has. Mansell's gained 1 position due to that disqualification, so he puts it to his 40th place there.
1 position done. I've just seen it.
But his teammates on pole, so that's something. He finished in P3, didn't he? After.
Oh, Aiden's P3 out there with the McLaren.
We said he needs to work on his qualifying, so he has done so far. It's a 9.9. That's his second lap on the self-compiled tyres after making a mistake out of turn 7, I believe it is, or turn 8. So, yeah, that second lap has really helped him, and he's got 4 minutes left to try and do anything about it. So, a trip to the pits is necessary because the McLaren driver is on low on fuel. But great lap time indeed for Adams there. Emils is on pole, and he picked up his first podium of the season back in Miami. Can he keep up his good run? Both Ferraris are looking stronger. But Zenon still needs to work on his racecraft and his consistency because, like you said, that triple overtake into turn 1, it wasn't because the triple overtake he spun, it was because he put the power down too early.
Yeah, which is pretty much the case, really. And that's unfortunate for him as drivers now doing more of their laps now. MCFC, he's done his. Now the game is sort of fixed up for me. MCFC is now currently in P11, so which is good to see. Keith's is on a recharging lap, to say the least. So yeah, I think all the drivers now are not on their flying laps now. I think they're all on their cooldowns. So yeah, so what they're all doing their warm-ups and all that. Is Mad G on a flying lap? I don't know if he is.
He is.
Let's have a look. Mad G. Who's that in front of him, actually? Is that... it's not actually down. There's a car in front of him. It's a Haas of MCSC. Or is that... No, or is that Yarum? I think it's MCSC. Which it is. So yeah, Mad G comes out to the second stadium section now, hard on the brakes. He's 4/10 quicker on his flying laps, and he can improve. Probably around that lower top 10 maybe, but he needs to stay tight with his turn. Very nice and tight actually, very nicely done there for Mad G. Round the banking corner, and he will go into very nice and safe P9, and very good lad there for Mad G.
Yeah, he found a lot of time as well during the last sector, about 3 or 4 more tenths. He found Martin's popped himself up to P4. I believe actually started the flying lap quite early in his qualifying session. So is Jorham. We saw him move out of the way for, I think it was Mad G at the time. As we go on board actually with Jorham to see what he's doing in the first sector. That is his teammate actually further up the road. No, he's backed off it because he's put it in on. So it must have been a mistake somewhere in the first 4 corners. That's where Martin is right now. Downhill and uphill once again Make sure you don't lose traction because you get bogged down easily down there with too much wheel spin on the exit. Now, making our way towards the end of the first sector. He's a few hundreds down, but still makes it up, as we can see. Fully flat out as he loses speed there in 7th gear. I usually take it through 6th gear to make sure I keep the speed up, as now making our way towards this right-hander we go. Can be quite tricky on the exit there. It's very easy to touch the grass there and spin out, but it looks like he's backed off because he's not really happy with the way that lap is going.
Yeah, pretty much. He wanted to get nice and neat and tidy, but it's not happening at the moment. So the drivers right now just doing their final preparations. There's currently a Ferrari leading by a 10th of a second over Yaram. Looks like Yaram's about to go another flying lap. He is. Here we go. Yaram trying to take down a Ferrari of Emil's.
We've got Keith making his way towards the end of the middle sector, running quite low on the battery. He's 9,000 down as Keith, or Maggi, sorry, has retired in the pit lane. A bit of a swap on there for Keith in the mid corner. As he makes his way down towards Penultimate corner, I think he has backed off it, judging by the way he is going. So back on board with Yarham then. Can he snatch pole away from the Ferrari driver? He's currently 400 down in the first sector as he takes it through 6th gear as well. Now dropping down towards his corner. Slight lift off in the entry before we break again. Locks up on the inside, but won't affect him too much as he rotates the car, bringing it to the right hand side to open up this corner as much as you want. Get as close to the apex as you possibly can, making sure you don't hit that corner too much or touch the curb too much, otherwise you lose rear stability. He's a few hundreds up in the middle sector, but that won't be enough as he bounces over the curb as they make a way towards these slow speed corners before he picks up the throttle once again. Nicely rotated on the exit. We head down towards this close speed corner, flick it in. I think this is where Alex Albon crashed a few years ago. I know Sergeant Albon crashed here before in the Williams, but here comes Johan to make his way towards the line. Now, is it pole? It's not. It's a 9.8. He does lose time in the last sector, does Johan there. What about Adams? He's coming towards the end of the first sector. Now, middle sector, he's a few hundreds down in the first and second, but can he make it up? Did go out wide just a bit on the entry of towards turn 11 there, so I think he might have lost a little bit of time. Oh, inside curve too much, and he spins the car, and Martin's got up to P3 in the RB, so great qualifying so far from the RB driver, but we've got 15 minutes of qualifying. That was Adams' last lap of the qualifying session, so that's him done and dusted, I believe. Carvin Racing has got the slipstream. Will he try and say anything about it? Is this pole? It is! It's a 9.6 there for Carvin Racing, just sneaks it away.
Still faster than his time though. Emil's is faster, so let's see if he can top off Calvin's time.
Can he do it? Can he get his first pole of the season? Here he is towards the line. He can! It's a 9.5, and he found a 10th in the final sector there because he was a few hundreds down on his previous best, but found some time in that last sector, so puts himself back on pole. What about Yarham? He's slowing down. What about Marty? He just completed a lap. Energy Dan, 2/10 up it says, but I think he just completed that lap time. Sonic Hawk in the RB, now making his way towards turn 10. He's got an Aston Martin in front of us. That must be mindful what, because we know Mansell's has been is 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector, but he's got Mindful Wasp just ahead of him. I think they're both on a flying lap as the Red Bull moves out of the way there, so we make our way towards this penultimate corner. Sonic Hawk might get a decent tow on the back of the Aston Martin, so let's see if he finds more time in this last sector. Here he is then, the tow and the DRS history. He goes up into P3. Great lap indeed for Sonic Hawk.
That's a fantastic there from Sonic Hawk there, but congratulations to Emil's first pole of the season for him and Ferrari. Maybe inconsistent through the races, but I'll tell you now, their qualifying is supreme. I'll tell you that for a fact, but can they really convert that into a strategy to race for the race win? I also want to point out the fact that Zandvoort is not an easy place to overtake. It's narrow, it's very undulating, it can provide great racing, but there's going to be a lot of DRS trading as well if the drivers are very sensible with the DRS and the ERS saving. So the likes of Mansell and Zenon, Keefs, Maggi, Klusser, they're going to have a very tough time down there at the lower end of the field if they can try and get past the field. But it depends on a good strategy and a very good racecraft to get past all these drivers in front to get a good result.
Indeed, then. So I think it's the normal one-stop strategy we're seeing around here in Zandvoort. And also, I just saw the viewer count. It was 27 people watching at one time. That's a lot of viewers that I saw recently. So nice one there for those people that are watching. Thank you very much for his support as well with me and Oliver in the commentary box. So it's this man, the Norwegian driver of Mills on pole ahead of Carvey Racing in P2, separated by 300ths of a second. Sonic Hawk in P3 ahead of Yorham in the Haas, Martin in P5 ahead of Adams in P6, Burmeister 7th ahead of Energy Dan, Mindful Wasp in P9, Maggi and Keith 10th and 11th place with MCFC 12, Clustler 30th place. A dismal qualifying for the Dutchman at his home Grand Prix. Failed success for him in the rest. Madsal and Zedem, the two drivers who haven't set a lap time. Zedem tried to, but put it in the wall at turn 3 and also got himself disqualified too. So we'll see what Zedem could do for 50th place. Realistically for Zedem, there should be no pressure now for him starting in 50th place. Just try and see what he could do in this race.
Oh my.
Is it raining? Oh my goodness me.
That's torrential. That's full wets. This
Hot
is
for
full
Doma.
wets. My word. The race has definitely been turned up on its head.
Oh my goodness me. So we're seeing a full wet race out here for the first time in Division 2. I think we had a few bits of rain, spots of rain in this division, not full wet race. Will it be a full wet race? Are the wets, are the inters going to be introduced? I think judging by this, it should be the wet tyres that might be attached to these cars. So let's see. This track is challenging itself, but now with the wets being introduced, it's going to spice up things here. Who has got the bravery in these conditions, the grip, the confidence, the car, the setup to try and make their way through the field? And we'll see then who can manage these wet conditions.
And also another thing as well, that there's going to be spray involved. There's going to be, traction as well. So the people who want full traction control, fair play to you, Michael Wasp. But it's going to be very, very challenging to say the least. It's going to be one of those things. The track is already narrow and hard to overtake as it is, but now you've got to take into account now with the rain involved and the undulation as well, and the traction zones as well. That's going to be another factor as well in the race. So, it's not going to be very, very easy, especially around here in Zandvoort.
It's not indeed, especially down at turn 3 where it's downhill, then uphill again, and you can be very careful on traction too. The final two corners where it is very quick indeed, but still, you get on the power as soon as you turn the car and turning right at the same time. So you can be very careful on the banking. DRS is actually on the banking, not the straight itself. So that's where the activation, activation point is, which is quite interesting because I thought they never allowed that, but due to the downforce of these cars, it could take it as well. And we saw a decent race in 2024 this season at Zandvoort. We've seen some overtakes, which is quite difficult because in 2023 we saw a lot of overtakes, but 2022 was not really anything special. Can't really remember anything from the 2022 Zandvoort Grand Prix for some reason. But last year we've seen plenty of overtaking with the mixed conditions because it started raining and people on the slick tyres. Perez was one of the first ones that pitted, put himself into P1 at the end of all that first lap chaos, and Verstappen fell down to 14th, but caught Perez, I believe, by 5 seconds a lap in the said car, which was insane. And Verstappen was up into P1 in no time. Perez finished outside the top three. He finished in 4th place at the end as Gasly got him. And we saw that big crash, I think, with Joe Guan Yu, who did double locked up and hit the wall too. So we see some heavy conditions here in the past in 2023 because midway through the race it was dry, then all of a sudden it poured down and we had to red flag the race due to the unsafe conditions as well. We've seen a lot of rain in practice, but none came due qualifying or the race either.
Yeah, so and also another fact that these drivers got to take in is the setups that they have, because some people have gone for a dry setup and some people have gone for a wet setup, and now people on the dry setup now have to change that into a somewhat of a wet setup, and the minor adjustments they can have on the impart ferme saving as well. That's gonna be fun to do because now they're all on the wet tires, which is no surprise to see. It's good. The ERS saving is gonna be easier because of a lot of lifting and early braking and that. So really, the ERS shouldn't be much of a problem. It depends how much they can deploy during each part of a lap. So that's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. But in terms of the real life Zandvoort, I only got like a few seconds to talk about my thoughts on the race. Lando Norris did supremely well, to say the least. He did very, very well to win by 22 seconds over Max Verstappen. I mean, in this era of Formula One cars, it's absolutely extraordinary. But when McLaren's upgrades, they have really turned up the notch now. And if McLaren have that sort of pace during the second half of the season, and Max Verstappen sometimes falter, which doesn't usually happen. But if that sort of happens at this point of this junction of the season, maybe the Drivers' Championship is definitely on. And with Oscar Piastri's consistency as well in the other McLaren, the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull is very much in danger, to say the least.
Oh yeah, it's got to be now. Who would have thought that we'd have a constructors fight, especially towards the first few races of the season, expecting a Red Bull walkaway as it has been last year. But here in 2024, we're seeing different.
We all predicted the Red Bull domination, but it really has. The McLaren have done supremely well.
Honestly, if you said in 2023 that McLaren were fighting with the constructors, you'd be delusional. I think they're delusional, but not anymore.
They're a top team again. First time since 2012, they're now a top team again. I'm so happy for them. So happy.
I am happy. They've got two great drivers, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Lando Norris can make mistakes from time to time, but it's been like it's his first time in this situation. You expect to make mistakes because he had a midfield car, so to say, in that McLaren. But look at Calvin. Look at the way he's pointed towards the left.
I'm about to say, yeah. Unless if anyone makes any mistakes tonight here in Zandvoort.
All the big corners going down into turn one. The excitement awaits as the 5 lights are underway then for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Look at Calvin gets a launch. What a launch there for Calvin. Open to P1 immediately. Johan's in second place. Emils has been bogged down. It's into P4 now. Then Aston Martin goes out wide through turn one. I think he lost the position towards Energy Dan, but trying to stay ahead of Adams there. So now Calvin leads his Grand Prix. Mindful Wasp and Energy Dan are swapping places there as we go down towards turn four. Every single driver I can see is tentative. Look at that. They're just trying to make sure they don't lose the car immediately. As look at Burmeister now alongside Johan. Let's see if he makes a move. He backs out of it. He's an experienced driver. Is Burmeister not willing to take any risk? And also Mindful Wasp and Adams going side by side as they make a way through Skyfloor. We go. Adams is pushing Mindful Wasp almost off the track there as he desperately wants to try and maintain position, which he does do. You can see them sliding to the corner there. Very treacherous conditions indeed. Here he is up the inside. It's turn 8. He takes on Energy Dan. He puts himself up into P5. So Adams is being very aggressive in the first opening few corners of this Grand Prix. As you can see, Energy Dan is trying to defend from Mindful Wasp. Mindful Wasp gets a better exit than Dan, but just stays ahead with the helping hand of the battery there.
Yeah, so the biggest winner out of all that carnage, well, the first fiasco of corners is Burmeister, who made 4 positions in that race. Sonic Hawk got a disastrous start, losing 8 positions from his spot in at the race.
Look at this, sorry to interrupt, look at this, we've got a multi-car battle for the lead there, and Burmeister takes on Johan. It all happened at the final corner. Now he's all at the back of Calvin Racing. He says faster lap in the RB as we make our way now side by side towards turn one. Look at who's late on the brakes. Contact again. There's Johan and Adams there making contact, but Burmeister goes around the outside. He takes the lead of the race. He was third place 1 moment ago. Now he's up into P1. What a great drive so far for the Williams driver. Has so much confidence there, all unfolded at the Pulsman corner.
I think what Burmeister's got on is a supreme wet setup on that car. That car looks planted for the wet conditions. Right underneath the Haas goes down the inside of Skyfloor. Can he get the move done? The Haas trying to turn on him, but no use. Ennis gets the move done.
What a great drive so far from the McLaren driver of Adams. Once again being aggressive, getting his elbows out, and he has a step of oversteer for good measure too as he tries to get on the loud pedal as quickly as he can. He starts his 6th and now he's up into 3rd place. So Adams got some really good confidence there, and Calvin got swamped there by Burmeister in the penultimate corner. Not quite sure if he had a really bad exit, but just constantly sliding to the corner. Look at the Haas, who outbreaks himself and goes off the track there for an excursion on the gravel. Rejoins in P4, but E. Mills might get him back. He gets slowed down by the Haas in front of him. He's trying to recover, and now they lost a lot of time. Look at the Haas sliding once again, so he's definitely slowing this pack down. And Adams is right at the back of the Sauber driver of Carvin Racing. He was battling with Cassidy last time. This time it's Carvin. Carvin goes defensive on the inside line, forcing Adams to go around the outside into turn 1. He's no stranger, but he gets on the grass going on to turn 1 there, which doesn't really affect him like I thought it would do, as he usually rear locks. But look at the exit he gets. Look at the launch. He gets past him. What a fantastic move there from Adams. Carvin, once again, sees somebody goes around the outside for the second time in this race. And now Adams up into P2. Has he got the pace to try and catch Burmeister?
Aiden's super aggressive during that whole part of that race. Later on the race, they get a supreme drive, go out of the corner and absolutely launched it away. And now Aiden's now going to be on the charge of the Williams of Burmeister. But this midfield scrapper at the most behind Energy Down is looking very tasty. We've got Yara in there. We've got Mindful Watts. We've got Martin, Maggi. Mansel's not making that much progress he wants yet, but it's still very early stages. MCFC and Maggi are fighting. MCFC onto the grass there. But he's got it all wrong, and that's because we give cars on the outside to see if we get a chance. That's Maggi trying to go on the outside of MCFC, but no use. MCFC has it covered.
Seeing this midfield scrap everywhere. Somebody calls the yellow flag. I presume that was Sonic Hawk. He's dropped down into 50th place, quite a long way away. Here's the Aston Martin up the inside of Keith now. Mansell trying to make a recovery. Look at that. Around the outside, bit of contact too. Lose the back of the car as he tries to find retraction. And also McLaren on his left-hand side. We make our way down towards the Brusman corner. Very Tetris indeed. Who gets to the power first? Who gets a better exit than these two? And you can see Keith is just pulling away there. But Mansell will be in the slipstream. And MCFC is overtaking Martin. Those two made contact going down into turn 3 in the Miami Grand Prix. And I think MCFC just stays ahead, back on board with the battle between Mansell and Keith, which still continues there as they go side by side out of turn 1. Who will yield into turn 2? It'll be Mansell, as you can see Keith got the drive at the exit of turn 1 there, using a bit of banking to rotate the car and get a better exit, which he does too. So Mansell has to stay behind. And Martin and Maggi are now swapping places. Maggi puts himself up into P9 ahead of Martin in the RB. And what about Mansell? Still lurking all over the back of that McLaren, who opens up the door, and Mansell says thank you very much, or does he? Because Keith there is trying to close the door on him. It's still side by side, but thankfully keep it clean. Mansell now finally gets ahead of him, longer than he expected, puts himself up into P11 after starting P14. Zeedham still remains in 14th place, but he has got Sonic Hawk all over the back of him. They're all struggling in these wet conditions. Adams has pulled away from Calvin. The gap is now 2.2. It's about 9/10 a lap will go with 2, but you can see Adams has definitely got the pace. Redemption after China and also the Miami Grand Prix got denied victory twice after his own teammate Keith overtook him to win the Grand Prix, and also being denied a win due to a post-race penalty. But for the third time lucky, can he get it? Klussler is ahead now, and now the Ferrari of Zeedham's ahead, so Keith has just lost 2 places there in the space of 1 corner. And here comes Mindful Wasp on the inside of Yarholm, going down into 1. There's contact there between the two. I'm not quite sure what happened there. As you can see, the other Haas now MCFC gains another place, so Mindful Wasp there losing place unfortunately after that contact.
So Mindful Watts there trying to go for audacious move on Yara, but the door closed on him. It depends if Mindful Watts will report that. Look at that bad G trying to go around the outside of the Wasp. But it looks like there's going to be another sting in the tail for the Wasp because Mad G is swarming around there. But look at that, Mindful Wasp who's buzzing around trying to get those rear tyres up to speed again, and looks like he's gone away trying to catch down MCSC. But feel sorry for Sonic Hawk at this part of the race because he's struggling out there at the moment. I think he's definitely got a dry setup on that car. He's not looking at all comfortable in these conditions. And Naser saying go on down in the chat because Eddie Dan is currently in P5 catching down the Ferrari of Emil's. It's so hard to figure out how you get the traction points on the circuit because you need to be so gentle on the throttle. You get a short shift to try to keep the power down to get the traction and the early boost of the ERS to see if you can actually get an advantage on your opponent. Now, I play a lot of WRC a lot in my spare time, and I know how to handle these sort of conditions. In WRC, you can literally sort of chuck the car, slide around a lot, but also it actually teaches you how to control the power so much, and it really, really works. As Mansell closing in on Martin to see if he can get past him for 10th, which is not going to do. But my point is, if you control the power on those rear tyres, you can get such an ideal exit to get into a better position. And Mansell trying to get past Martin, no use. But looks like Mansell really wants to progress in this race.
Yeah, he does. After that contact, this turn one lost a lot of places there. Did the Aston Martin driver that was mindful was sorry. You can see Mansell is all over the back of Martin, but can't find a way past, but he's definitely looking strong. Is the Aston Martin driver. Martin, who had a great qualifying, but looks like he's dropping backwards. You can see him drifting to the corners. I've been on board with a lot of drivers, and they're just drifting. They look like they're about to lose a car, spin, but somehow keep it well under control and well balanced. Try and make sure they don't lose it. And also, Energy Dan is putting pressure on Mills, our pole sitter, who had a dreadful start, got put down into P4 after Burmeister and Calvin went through as well. And now you can see him under pressure from Energy Dan right behind him, followed by Yorham too, who starts to put pressure on him as they make our way now towards Plus McCordy. Goes a bit wide, does the Ferrari driver, and now Energy Dan can see him in his sights, has more confidence in these conditions, able to get the power, make sure he doesn't outbrake himself either. Use the ERS, as you can see on the Alpine steering wheel. Will he dare make a move? No, he's too wise to it, so he doesn't afford any risk. Where is he? Down at turn one. So let's see if we can try and get him into turn one. That is Mindful Wasp, who has definitely been struggling. He jumped on the grass a few minutes ago.
Mansell side by Martin. Can he get the move done, Jamie?
Can he though? Oh, Martin's trying to stick him on the outside. Better contact too. And now Martin has to concede defeat. As you can see, Klussler now, the Dutchman, is all over the back of him, but can't find a move. Or can he? Can he get a decent exit out of turn four? Try and out drag him towards the top end of towards Skyflock. You can see him there. Have to back out the steering, have to back out the throttle there to make sure he doesn't lose the car, which he doesn't do. And thankfully, he keeps on the track there. Martin is losing a lot of time, a lot of ground now. And as you can see, Calvin 6 seconds behind Adams. So ever since Adams disposed him, he's been able to pull away from him and build a big gap over third place. And now trying to hunt down Burmeister. I've noticed the gap between the top two has stabilised between 2 seconds there. So the both of them are showing consistent pace, same pace as well as each other. So let's see if Adam can try and hunt him down. Mindful Wasp and Mad G is still going at it, and that was before turn number 11, before the corner happened. So must have got a better exit. I'll drag him there, and Mindful Wasp is down as P9.
So at the moment, Aiden's, like you just said before, Aiden's a Mindful Wasp. Well, no, so Aiden's a Burmeister. They're just training places, training fastest laps really, but they are flying up at the front. They got first and second absolutely nailed. Also, to put into effect as well, that you got to think of the fact that also with the wet compounded tyre, they can go to the end because they can't. They don't need to make a stop because they can go to the end because pit stops don't matter now. Now it's raining, and also the wet tyre rule. You don't have to stop unless you got any wing damage. So tyre management is also a thing here in this race as well. So let's see who's really good on their tyres, and also who can actually get to the end on this one set of tyres towards the end of the race.
That's a good point to make because the wet tyres are durable, unlike the Inters, and they can make them go towards the end as well. So they don't lose tread like the Inters do and burn out. But we'll see then who's got the time management to go towards the end. Look at Calvin, he's really struggling. I noticed at the top of turn 7, he lost the back end of the car going into the corner, but managed to save it, which edge it Mills closer, Dan closer, and Yorham closer too. So there is a train right behind Calvin Mason, and he might lose a few positions. E-Mills wanted to be back on the podium after that dreadful start. He finished in P3 in Miami. Could he finish P3 again? As you can see, Calvin is really struggling now, and E-Mills is all over the back of the Sauber driver. Gets a good exit, does E-Mills. Struck behind him in the fast speed corner. Nowhere to go, but now could surely think about an overtake. And here comes Energy Dan too. E-Mills got to watch out for Energy Dan because he wants to make a move going down into turn 1, and he can't do anything about it. I thought the Ferrari driver would blast past the Sauber, but the Sauber is using his battery to try and stay ahead too. As you can see, Yorham is all over the back of Energy Dan, so it's just a chain effect there with all these cars bunching up and getting close to each other too. And guess who's close together? The two Aston Martins. The guy ahead of Mansell was the one that gave him a qualifying ban, so he definitely wants to get past him.
Oh, controversy in the Aston Martin team after the Miami Grand Prix. Mansell didn't really say on the podium interviews. They said that it didn't really make any sense for Mindful Wasp. And look at that, he's backing out there because Mindful Wasp is not confident. Seems to be a little bit of a back end there from Mindful Wasp, but you know, Mansell, he wants to get past his teammate as soon as he can and get after Mad G. But you can see the difference in the driving style. That we got a car wide. That's Martin getting a little bit low out of shade. He's losing a place to Zenon, but Mansell really wants to get past his teammate and really apply the pressures to Mad G. Now, if the Astons play it well, if they swap it around, they can get better points. But after what's happened in Miami Grand Prix, I don't really think that's going to happen.
And also got to think back in Saudi Arabia where Mindful Wasp had a 3-second time penalty. Back on board with the battle for P3. Let's get close now. You can see the Sauber Calvin defending the inside line. Emils has nowhere to go. Has to stay in 4th place again. And trying to look for a way past. But what's going to happen between Mindful Wasp and Mansell? Looks like they swapped positions. And thankfully it was kept clean this time. He's up to P9. What I was about to say, that Mindful Wasp should have thought about Saudi Arabia because he had a 3-second time penalty. And I think it was Mansell who did him the benefit of a favour there by slowing Castillo down because he didn't have a penalty. He kept him on the podium that day. So if it wasn't for Mansell, I don't think Mindful Wasp would have got a podium, which was a 3-second time penalty.
So yeah, so that's the Aston Martins for you after Saudi Arabia, and that's the Aston Martins now here in Zandvoort. Mansell now underway and trying to get after Manchi as Klusser gets trying to get past Mindful Wasp, and also Zenon trying to get down the inside of the Aston Martin. I'll tell you what, Mansell, no, Mindful Wasp, it just doesn't look any more sort of confident in these wet conditions as Zenon gets past him. Look at Mindful Wasp's car, not going anywhere.
Why doesn't Zenon spin in wet conditions, only in the dry? But Burmeister has pitted. Do you know what, Oliver? I wanted to mention something. Do you think the rain's getting lighter and therefore the Inters could be introduced? Let's see what he goes on to. It is Inters.
So it's not going to be torrential conditions now for the 4th forward. So now we're about to get an intake of what's going to happen next. Has Burmeister made the right call now, or is it too early? We don't know. We're about to find out.
Could be on the crossover point because it wasn't as severe, the weather, as it was a few laps ago at the start of the Grand Prix. So I think the Inters could be the better tyre. It all depends where he rejoined, which is good for him because he rejoined ahead of Mad G and 4 seconds behind. Oh, he made a mistake there. Did he keep it? Yes, he did. I just went off ball with it, but he made a big mistake there. So he's a P6.
Look at the time coming down. Look at the time coming down. It's 3.2, 3.1. Oh my word, that time's rapidly going down. Yep, it's into time. Burmeister, absolute brilliant call.
It is indeed. That could help him further promote himself ahead of Adams, build up on that a few seconds he had in spare. So the gap was like 2.8 seconds before he pitted. But afterwards, it could build up, and that could help him really during this course of this Grand Prix. Not being challenged so far is Burmeister. Adams should respond to that pit stop to make sure he doesn't lose any more time towards Burmeister. How long will it be before he overtakes Joachim? And we'll see the gap is 1.7. They're all stuck in this big train. Emils, he just can't find a way past the Sauber. The Sauber looks like he got good straight line speed. No help of the DRS there for Emils. Gets good exit at the final corner. And Adams stays out. Look at this. Look how close he is now in the final corner. But you can see that the Sauber will use his ERS in defense mode. And here comes Energy Dan now on the back of the Ferrari. He looks to make a move into turn 1 we go. He's getting so close. Johan picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding, and he gets him. Energy Dan is up into P3. What a great move there for the RP driver.
What a fantastic move. Get your nose in there and make Emils know that you're there. And I'll tell you now, they're all good fighting, good battle at the front. But Burmeister's now joined the party. But the problem is, Adams, he needs to pit now, because now Burmeister's in this train. He'll be slowed down by Odesloth. If Adams can start to figure out now that he needs to pit for Inters and while Burmeister's stuck in this train, this will be perfect for him right now. Perfect timing for him.
Yeah, Burmeister. Oh, there's a yellow flag down there. Is that an RB? Is that Martin? I think it is. I don't want to go off board with Burmeister because I want to see what he does, because he needs to make his way to the field quickly but as safely as possible. He doesn't want to make contact with people on wet tyres. And there he is, up into P4 he goes. Nice move there. He can't afford a crazy dive bomb or a silly move trying to go around the outside of a corner where it's high speed. He's got to make sure he does it nice and cleanly. He sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix too.
Wow, unbelievable.
And Burmeister is struggling on the pull-ups for the corner, but I believe the fastest lap will go to this Williams man because he's definitely purple in the first and second set. So here he is then on the straight. Can he get past him? There's no fastest lap yet for him. Bearing in mind he got held up by these three as Emils is in the pit lane. So this is good for Adams so far, but it won't last for long because here he is out of turn 1. Burmeister gets a better exit alongside him. Oh, we almost spun him. That was so close to spinning there. They made contact, but Burmeister is so lucky. He was so lucky not to spin there. You can see him losing traction out of turn 4. He needs to get past him, but he backs out of it. This is good for Adam, not good for Burmeister.
Aiden sees the box now. He needs the box now because this is a perfect time for it to box. But look at this. Burmeister holding on only just, but how on earth he held on to that Williams when he was like literally what? Half a car spinning, and he absolutely held on to that brilliantly. 16.2. Aidens, if you're listening, man, box now, please. He's going for the final 2 corners now. Is he going to box though? Does he know that Burmeister's stuck?
Oh, look at this going down. It's the chicane. He almost spins again. He's got to be so careful of the contact there. But I think the Inters are definitely quicker. I know Laser is disagreeing, but I think the Inters are a better tyre. Burmeister is weaving left and right there, saying, what the hell are you doing? In Dutch, because he is from the Netherlands as Burmeister. Oh, he gets a massive swapper on at the final corner too. He's definitely frustrated. Energy Dan is no slouch. He does not want to give up. He lost a second and a half on his previous lap, or his current lap, sorry, did Burmeister, trying to overtake these two. I'm surprised he's stuck behind these two for that long, you know. But here he is again out of turn 1. Remember what happened at turn 2? This time, more contact there. And let's see, does he make it clearly? He does. As we go down towards turn 4, we go. Burmeister goes out wide. Energy Dan will have a better exit, but no. That's a bit of a tap there.
My God, absolutely unbelievable. What's happened to Keeps? Keeps is very slow. Don't know why there's a yellow flag showing now, but he's just coming out to the pits. Mansell is just in P12 now, literally holding on with his Inters.
There's a yellow flag down there.
Yeah, there is a yellow flag. Don't know what I was about, but here we go. Burmeister now on the back of Calvin. 17.4. Can is Aiden's going to pit now? I'd sort of disagree with Later here. Inters are faster, but will Aiden's pit now? He's got the gap to do it.
He should pit. I'm not quite sure why he's staying out there. The McLaren going around once again, hoping that these two will hold him up for even more. But the Dutchman of Burmeister is fast to get past. You can see all of the back of him going down the straight. But no, Calvin has got some decent straight line speed in the south. He's not been overtaken by anybody with his straight line speed. But here they are side by side now. Surely Burmeister is going to overtake Calvin as we go down towards turn 1 we go. And you can see that Burmeister, all his contact going down into turn 1 there with the front tyre. And Burmeister's losing traction again. And there's an Aston Martin who's gone for a spin down there. That's Mindful Watts.
Mindful Watts is on mediums. He's on dry tyres.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what race he's at, but Burmeister is struggling down there. He's losing even more time. He had a really bad exit at turn 3, just struggling with the car itself.
80.2 now to get now he's in clean air now. Now he can get after Adams now, but Adams is playing a very, very time management game here. Is he going to get past? So we've got some drivers fighting now. MCFC and Emils and Sonic Corker in a fight now. This is a battle for P6.
I noticed that Burmeister is really struggling. MCFC, as you said, is all over the back of Sonic Corker. So watch this battle going on. Emils is down there in 8th place, who actually got undercutted by MCFC, despite him not being in this train, in this pack. So Adams can go to lap 20 and maybe get to the Inters towards the end. There's more yellow flags down there. I'm not quite sure what's going on down there as there's loads of battles going on. Here comes the Mills in the chicane, but look at that, he turns into an overtake. Does he make a corner? No, he doesn't. He goes off the track, but still stays on the track. Is that legal? I'm not quite sure, actually. Safety car's been deployed.
Oh, it's for Mindful Wasp. It's for Mindful Wasp, and those dry tyres damaged the wing.
Oh, Mindful Wasp was called to safety car, and he'll upset a few people too, won't he?
It would be, yeah, but this will help Adams big time. Adams big time. I'll tell you that for a fact. 23 seconds and now ahead of the field. If he does a box now, I'll give him a text message to say, why did you not box? This is a perfect time. This will be a perfect time for him.
He is looking for his first win of the season after being denied twice in the past 2 races. He lost the lead on the final lap, on the last lap, in the last corner. His teammate got him, and he lost the race win too in Miami due to a post-race penalty with Klussler. It should have been his to win, but was a bit too impatient overtaking Klussler, put him in the wall, and that sealed his fate there. But for the 3rd time of asking this season, can he do it, Adams? He was very, very distraught back in China, very annoyed indeed. But is this the time he can win? I don't recall him making mistakes here or making contact with anybody so far in this race. So kept it squeaky clean, but he's still got 20 laps to do something about it. Here he is in the pit lane. It's an absolute no-brainer, as you said.
Yeah, no-brainer really. He's coming in now off his wet tyres. As Calvin will be the next person to go into the pits as well. So here comes Ennis now onto the intermediate tyres. That's the green stripes. And off he goes. He'll be comfortably in the lead by the end of the pit stops.
I expected Burmeister's pit 2 to put himself on a brand new set of Inters. Calvin, who's still out there on those wet tyres still. The only one on the wets, but he's on the Inters now as he'll put on a brand new set of Inters. And this might benefit him, because he can get rid of his 10-second time penalty under a safety car.
Like, that's the true point, yeah. I think Yoram can get his time penalty out of the way now underneath the safety car. I'm going to watch the stop here, see if it actually is the case. Here he comes into the box. Now, is he going to be held? Yep, he is. So, Yoram's going to get rid of his penalty. Very good work there. Mansell. But he asked him about...
It's a double stack. It's a double stack. MCFC has to wait behind Yoram.
Dear. That must have hurt for MCFC there to be way behind his teammate, but unfortunately that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, that felt like a 5-second tablet there for MCFC, having to wait behind his teammate, but guess what it was again. So all 50 drivers remain, despite a wet impact race here around Zandvoort. The tricky corners, the tricky conditions, the tricky track itself, and all 15 drivers remain in this race. Mindful Wasp was the one that caused safety car. Zenum, what are you doing?
Oh. Literally, when it rains, it pours for Zenon.
I don't recall him spinning once around here in Zandvoort, even in the wet conditions, but he does it in the dry, so quite sure what happened there.
Well, he gets his penalty, unfortunately there for Zenon. So now what's going to happen now at the front? Ennis is now leading, Burmeister now second. Ennis got him now in the pit stop phase comfortably. Calvin is out there in third. Emils is up there now in fourth for the Ferrari team. Both Alpines fifth and sixth. They're looking very comfortable. Mansell, after starting last, he's now in seventh with his teammate now in last. So that's going to be funny to see how that plays out in the Aston team. Clutter in 8th, Sonic Hawk in 9th, and Keith's in the top 10. So, really topsy-turvy now after the start there, Jamie. Really topsy-turvy.
Both Alpines there in P5 and P6. Matt G has also been got on notice during this Grand Prix too. Started 10th and slowly made his way up to 6th place as well. So he's been doing a good job so far. Has Matt G. I believe he missed out at the Miami Grand Prix. He did, so he didn't return there. But he finished in P8 at the Chinese Grand Prix. He hasn't really been up there, has Matt G, since he got his podium back at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Same with Keith as well, but Keith did win the Chinese Grand Prix after a fantastic drive, battling his own teammate for P1. But for the third time of asking, can the McLaren driver, the Scotsman of Adams, get a win? Also, not to forget to mention that Burmeister is searching for his first win of the season too. So, can he get it? The first time he got a podium was back at the British GP. There was a car, an outlier in the way, because Energy Dan picked himself up a 10-second penalty, and we saw Calvin and Burmeister have a fantastic race back in Silverstone. They went side by side through, I think it's Brooklands, Luffield and Cops, and Calvin just stayed ahead of Burmeister. But the problem was for Burmeister, he had Energy Dan between himself and Calvin, and therefore was not able to win the Grand Prix. Still finished in second place that day, and Burmeister is looking to win his home Grand Prix. He's a very nice guy, is Burmeister, very quick indeed. We've seen him in Div 1 a few times too, and he has scored a podium before the season as well, has Burmeister. So no stranger to a podium is the Dutchman. But can he get his first win of the season at his home Grand Prix? We're about to find out, because we're past halfway point now during this race. We've seen plenty of battles in action here, and Burmeister, by pitting earlier, has cost him. But
to be honest, it's just going to be a really fun final few laps of this race now. Now the drivers are all on the intermediate tyres. It's now back to all equal squares again. As do you remember when we did the Miami Grand Prix last week? Like we said, Lando Norris won the Miami Grand Prix real life. Enes won the Grand Prix in the virtual race. Now, Lando Norris won this Grand Prix, and Adams is winning. Maybe it's another replication, I wonder.
We're about to find out, but Burmeister, if you remember as well, he had some great pace in the first stint, both on the same tyres, of course, and he was pulling the gap towards Adams, but we'll see. Will Burmeister bring the gap down? Will he challenge Adams in this final part of the race? Will there be another twist? Will he get drier too towards the end, or will we stay on the intermediate tyres? So it was very treacherous indeed. The full wet tyres were required, but now we're down to interstandard, so it shouldn't be too difficult, as the safety car is in at the end of this lap. There's not B who has a caught up there. That's Martin. And Zenum, a mindful Wasp, has been lapped, so unfortunately for him, he will not be involved in this Grand Prix.
Not anymore, he's not. So that's unfortunate for Mindful Wasp. So Adams now getting the tyres warmed up. He's holding up. He's now in charge of this massive crocodile behind him, the multicolored crocodile. And Adams, is he going to launch? Yes, he is. He's off, and Wilson Burmeister sits with him.
He has got about 17 laps to defend from the mighty Dutchman behind him of Burmeister. Can he keep him at bay? Can Burmeister try and reclaim the lead of the Grand Prix after he deserved it? After a fantastic start and overtook Calvin going down into turn one. This is going to be a good battle between the two towards the end. Will Calvin stay in this battle because he dropped off dramatically in the first stint, lost a lot of time, but now we're down to inters. Is this conditions where it suits the Sauber driver? Kenny Mills get back at the podium after starting on pole. They got bogged down at the start of the Grand Prix, fallen down into fourth place. He is still in fourth place. He lost the podium towards Calvin. He tried to fight him back. Eddie Chidan got him back. It's Calvin there using the grass a lot, and he's out of shape too as we make our way towards turn 9, clatter the curb a lot on the inside, and we'll see Kenny Mills finally get past him after he's stuck behind him majority of this Grand Prix. Calvin has already lost a lot of time. He's 1.7 seconds down on the back of Burmeister, so the top two in pursuit, and we'll see Burmeister. He's right at the back of Adams there. We'll try and force a move going down into turn 1. He's looked like he's got a lot of pace so far as a Williams driver, as he was proved in the first stint, but we'll see. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another thing.
So can Burmeister get the slingshot he needs to get past Adams? No, Adams gets a really good drive out of there, so he's okay. And as Energy Dan takes a really good tight line into the bank corner, can he get past Emil's? Emil's looking to get past Calvin. No chance there. So all these drivers are sticking nice and firm, all nice behind in single file. So right now it's 2.1 seconds between Burmeister and Calvin. So the gap is extending really dramatically, to be fair. The top two really checked out at the front. I think that's the advantage of the wet setup they have on their cars. So right now it's all down. Oh my God, Emil's got absolute great confidence going into that bank right hander, but looks like not getting any effect on Calvin, as Mansell is very close to Michael Wass's Alpine as well.
Imagine the Alpine under massive pressure from Mansell out behind, who started down in 40th place due to a qualifying ban from his own teammate, but is now his teammate's in last place there.
He got the meals, Jamie. He got the meals.
Can he get past him? There's a red flag in turn 8. That's where the RB is. That's Martin, who's gone for a spin once again. Gets back on the track safely and gets going once again. Burmeister's getting very close there, but he can't get the exits, I've noticed, in heavy traction zone. The back end of the car is very tail happy, so he's not able to get the power as quickly as he wants to, and therefore Adams is just pulling away slightly as Burmeister sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Here's Emils now. For the 10th time of asking, can he get past the Sauber? No, we can't. The Sauber looks like he got some decent straight line speed, but in terms of downforce, that's where he's lacking. And with the straight line speed he has, he's able to stay ahead of Emils. It's so difficult to overtake in the corners, and also on the straight if you have the right setup too. So Emils just can't get past him.
I tell you what, it's literally a 2-horse race. It's 4 seconds the gap between Burmeister and Calvin. It's down to Emils now if he can get that third spot away from the Sauber, but he always so close there for touching, and he's down the inside. No, not happening at all. So right now it's down to these three. How much do they want to fight? Because Mansell and Maggi are just lurking and waiting for any incident. So as this moment in time, as this battle grows, the battle of the third is between from Calvin all the way down to where I think where Mansell is. We've got a slow car, that is Maggi slow, and Mansell
And as we go down in towards the chicane we go, Mansell has the outside line to keep it nice and clean as we exit the corner of turn 12, and Mansell just flies past him and is up into P6 now. Great recovery drive. He's on P6. Could have podium. But of course for him, he's so close. Oh, he actually touches him in the final corner, does he, Mills? And let's see, can he finally get him going down into turn 1? No, he's just not that close enough to try and get him into turn 1. The straight line speed is mighty on the Sauber Ferrari there, as Klussler is looking for a move on Maggi as well, but too far away. This is a 2-horse race here. We've got plenty of action going on. Actually, Burmeister has lost time towards Adams. He is 1 second behind Adams there, so he's losing a lot of time. I noticed he was tail happy all the time. And Aston Martin of Mindful Wasp has spun out the chicane, unfortunately, and he rejoins once again the man that caused the safety car and probably upset Burmeister too, as he's lost the lead of the Grand Prix and now he's losing time towards Adams. But Calvin, you got to give it to him. He's put up a mighty defence there, gets stuck on the curb on the outside. And here comes Energy Dan on the inside of a Mills now. They go side by side as we head out turn 9. Going into 10. Has he spun?
Yeah, he lost the car on the exit after making contact with the Ferrari, and now he lost heaps of places. Now he's down to, went from what, P5 or P4 down to a measly P8. Unfortunate there for Energy Dan. But that promotes Mansell up into 5th from 14th place.
Incredible stuff indeed. Mansell looking for another podium as well, because he's scored a lot of them this season. He's looking for his 4th podium this season. Adams sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, pulling away from Burmeister. Once again, we find ourselves with the Ferrari emails right behind the Sauber, but the straight line speed is too mighty for the Ferrari as he tries to go around the outside. He can't do it. He gets on the grass. Will Mansell go to the inside? He's too far behind to do it, but Mills, if he can't do it in the straights, I've noticed that the Sauber in the corners is weak. He just understeers. So is that the chance for Mills? Try and get him down into a different place at turn 7 and turn 8. Maybe he's got to think about doing it in the corners and not in the straights, because he's been in this scenario plenty of times. The Sauber straight line speed is too great. And look at that. You can see the Sauber going into turn 7 there, really struggling to get the car turned in. So we'll see there what happens down here at turn 8 and turn 9. He's not close enough on this occasion to do it. But Mills has got to watch out, because he's looking for a podium again for the 2nd time in a row. He's looking to overtake the Sauber, but at the same time, he's got the Aston Martin and Mansell all over the back of him. So he's got to be really careful, got to plan it at the right time.
A very calculated drive here for Mansell. He's very, very determined, very, very safe in his approach and his moves. And I'll tell you now for a fact, he's determined to get another podium of the season, get another podium under his belt, and keep his title challenge up and large. But here comes Emils once again. Can he get that overtake done on Calvin? He's got the ERS mode on, but so has Calvin. But has he got enough straight line speed? Still is a nada, because here comes Emils. No, still nothing. That straight line speed on Calvin is like a rocket ship on the straights. But he's doing supremely well.
No way past that Sauber, defending like Perez did back in 2021. Mindful Wasp has called it a day and retired in the pit lane there, so no safety car. There will be a yellow flag, but no safety car will impact this race with about 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix, in this wet affected Dutch Grand Prix. I thought this could be boring because of the wet conditions where we might not see any overtaking, but actually it's turned into a decent race so far, and it still is with about 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Calvin is defending from his life. He's done. What's happened?
MCFC went on the inside of Keith, and looking Yara down the inside. Can he get the move done? No, Keith just holds on only just.
Look at this train behind Maggi, by the way. There's a lot of cars right behind him. That's Klussler, who might get a decent exit. And you can see in the background that Solid Core kind of poor exit. MCFC gets past him again. And Maggi, they're under massive pressure with a lot of cars right behind him too. The Haas bounced over the curves there. He's got about 6 cars right behind as Maggi to defend in P6 with his highest result, I think, since, what, the British GP? I can't remember. But anyways, here is Mills now. Right at the back of him. He's a 10th behind him, but that 10th is not enough to try and get past the Sauber, who goes towards the inside. And that's the favourite place to try and defend there, because Mills is not close enough to go around the outside into turn 1 and take third place away with the traction. He can't do it. He just can't. And therefore, Calvin just stays ahead. Emil's got to do something different here.
He's got to, to say the least. As now Keith's been overtaken by Yoram as he loses the back end slightly there, but Yoram just holds on to that position. But yeah, with Mansell as well, he's just chilling, just pretty much chilling behind now. He's just waiting for a mistake to happen. literally sitting there with his cinema chair, relaxing back with his popcorn now, hoping the chance to get past the Mills' Ferrari, but no chance at all. Can Mansell make something out of it with 11 laps to go as well to get another podium of the season? 1.2 now between Burmeister and Adams. Not doing too bad, but we've got a yellow flag at this moment of time. Who's that for? No idea. Probably another yellow flag scenario that we don't really need. But this six car fight is turning to a very massive scrap. Maggi with a little bit of an oversteer on the exit there, but can Mansell do anything about the Mills? Can the Mills do anything like Calvin? Down the main straight now. It's getting closer. 2/10. No, still nothing. As Emil's very late on the brakes there. Mansell having a little slow. No, down the inside. Can he get the move down? No, he doesn't like it. No.
Mansell made contact with the right front tyre of the Ferrari, which didn't enable him to get the speed of the corner, so he stays in 5th place there. He would have got the move done if it was something like consoles, maybe side by side of the corner, but I bet Mills is really frustrated at seeing the back of the sponsor of that Sauber unleashed, and he's definitely unleashed down the straight is the Sauber, because the Ferrari just can't get past him with his HP power. So we'll see there, the two Ferrari power units, but obviously with different setups there. You can see Mills has more cornering speed, and Calvin, despite struggling in the early stages in the corners, he's still doing a good job in the corners despite his setup more suited towards the straight line speed. So he's being very cautious in the corners, but unleashing all that power down the straights, keep the Ferrari and the Aston Martin at bay. This is a fantastic drive, I've got to say, for Calvin there, defending for P3 all his life. We've got 10 more laps left of this. Can he hold on?
I mean, Calvin is very, very mature in his defending right now, doing a magnificent job holding on to this P3 position. And this is another chance for Mills. It's even more closer. Can he get the move done down the outside? No, Calvin again holds on.
And we've got a battle going down towards turn 1 between the Red Bull and Maggi as we go into turn 1. The Red Bull trying to go around the outside. Maggi trying to keep the throttle there, try and stay ahead of the Red Bull drivers. Go down towards turn 2, bit of contact there. We cluster around the outside. Maggi spun, and he almost took out his teammate Eddie Jadad too. That was like a chain effect there, but thankfully Maggi's got off the track at turn 4 there, so we do lose a few places due to that contact, but it's so tight going down into turn 2. One of you got to back out as Eddie Jadad is defending from MCFC, which he does, using a bit of overtake there to try and stay ahead, and he puts himself up into P7 there, does the RP. So I've got to feel sorry for Maggi, but it's one of those cases where there's not enough space going down into turn 2, so neither at fault. It's just one of the things that one of you is about to lose into that battle. But Mills, I think once he gets close enough, he's got to try and go for the inside line, but Calvin's too small too. He knows to defend the inside line. As long as Calvin always defends the inside line, he should be able to stay the Ferrari driver. Mills can't get close enough as one of the RBs has gone for a spin. That's probably Solid Cork there, who's losing a lot of time. Unfortunately for him, he's running a good race. Burmeister sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, but once again, Mills is on the back of the unleashed Sauber, going down this main straight. Calvin pulling to the right hand side, and Mills finds himself in a tricky situation. He just can't get past. He must be so frustrated not to get past. And all of a sudden, Mansell's dropped back 1.5 seconds. Do you know what, Oliver? I think that slight contact with the right front tyre of Mills gave him a light green damage, because ever since then he just dropped back.
Maybe, or is Mansell dropping back slightly and waiting for another attack? I don't know, but Burmeister and Aiden's just played sensible at the front, literally 1.0 to 9/10 of a second between the two. So right now it's all very calculated at the front. These two are fighting super hard. Mansell 1.4 now, maybe he has got some slight damage on that Aston Martin, and that would be another podium for him today, but he will definitely come at the next Grand Prix for sure. Emils goes a bit deep there, goes into that long left-hander. Now, can he get that red HP power Ferrari past the unleashed kick Sauber, which, in my view, is not going to be very easy. In terms of driving the day, I have no solitary clue. We've got MCFC, who's got problems, and that's unfortunate for MCFC, who's gets a 10-second penalty for a severe collision with his own teammate.
Yeah, both houses at the chicane of turn 11 and turn 12. Here we go down into turn 1. Mills can't do it. He's going to have to try to find something different. He's trying to go around the outside, but he understeers, almost loses the car too, so that's not going to work. Again, unfortunately for Mills there, but as you can see, Burmeister is starting to close up Adams. Adams makes a mistake into turn 7. Will Burmeister get him? Going down into turn 8, turn 9. This is critical now between the top two. Adams making small mistakes. He might allow Burmeister through, but stays ahead for the time being there. So Adams, who looks like he's really comfortable in P1, he finds himself under massive pressure. These two are looking for their first win of the season. It's just a question of who.
The rain is starting to slow down even more. So are we going to see dries very soon? I don't know, but we'll have to find out very shortly. Adams holding on only just.
Oh, look at Burmeister really struggling in the exit of the penultimate corner there. I've noticed that every time he goes into a corner, he really does struggle with traction on the exit there. So that might help. Adam just stays ahead. Laser says good defending from Calvin. Emils needs to try the inside or try elsewhere. He does. Emils, he knows he can't get past down the straight. He's got to find a way past somewhere different. Surely there's no way now he can get past the straight. He's tried every trick in the book, as Keith has got past Sonic Hawk, who puts himself up into P8 or defending from him. He has got a 3-second tap to his name as well, as we're having to see a multi-core scrap there for P8 with MCFC on the back or Sonic Hawk, and also with Keith there too in the foreground. And Sonic Hawk peels off into the pit lane. So we've got a battle for P1, we've got a battle for P3. Let's see what it is. And Adams, Oliver, you are right, by the way. The rain is definitely slowing down. Could we see dry tyres towards the end? The question is, though, will it be a bit too late?
The thing is, with the inter tyres, when it gets to dry, I think the rain has stopped, by the way. Now it's down to durability of the tyre. Can it hold on for the final 4 laps? Or are there going to be a surprise pit stop for the dry compounded tyre? 3 guys have done that. Matt G, Sonic Hawk and Martin. They've all got onto the dry tyre. They're all on the soft compounded tyre. Let's see, I'm going to keep an eye on how that tyre comes down. Well, these lot are fighting. Emil's still stuck behind Calvin. And we've got a slow RB. That is going to be Martin that overtakes. They've been overtaken now. So that's them lapped. Just got to keep an eye on the times here. 8.1. It doesn't look like it's dry time just yet. So I think these intiers will possibly go to the end.
Oh, it's a tricky call here because you're damned if you do and damned if you don't sometimes. It's really hard to make a call. Martin retires in the pit lane knowing his race is over because he is a lap down, unfortunately, there for the RB driver. But oh, it's a tricky situation. What do you do? Because you don't know. Hindsight is a beautiful thing, but at the same time, during the moment, it's such a difficult call to make because if you do this, it could go wrong. If you don't do that, it could go wrong indeed. So, what is the best decision? You think? Why would you pit with 4 laps left to go? It is too late, but at the same time, you could make a big deficit. I remember at the Hungarian Grand Prix we said that in Div 1. All of a sudden, the Inters came into play. And it took a long time for them to do so, and they got swamped in the last few laps of the Grand Prix. I remember, I think it was Romovac, Glock at the time, Safikis as well. Those guys got swamped even though it was about 2 or 3 laps left to go, and they were on the dry compound tyres at the wrong time. Burmeister is so close. Adams is not pitting. Ooh. He dummied me.
He dummied all of us.
I thought he was. I genuinely thought he was going to pit,
9.5 between Mad G and Xenon. The gap is not coming down, so it looks like to me it's good. So it's going to be Steel. Can Emil get past Calvin? Can he do it? Don't forget, who's that coming to? Mansell's come in. Mansell's coming to the pits.
And Burmeister is all over the back of Adams too, so with 3 laps left to go, the track is drying out quickly now, and Burmeister is putting big pressure on Adams, and once again, Calvin is defending beautifully. Mansell is in the pit lane. By the way, did he change his wing? I didn't get to see that.
Nope, he has not.
At all. The McLaren has spun. That is Keith there. So luckily for Adams, it wasn't him because he'll be dropped out of this equation. So Keith rejoins. He's on the dry compound tyres, remember, so must have lost it with the track still being so greasy and therefore the soft compound tyres. Look at Burmeister approaching with speed. DRS may get enabled. Do you know what? I think these guys should take it towards the end. It might be a bit too late to pit it though, so I think it's best to go towards the end of the Grand Prix. Emils! I think he's spun. He has! In turn 10! He's trying to attack Calvin so many times. Unfortunately for him, he has spun and lost any chance of a podium now. and Calvin, I think, might be secured in P3, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like it's game set to match. Calvin won the battle. And I'll tell you now, that is absolutely well done, Stefan Calvin. He done supremely well with his defense. And I'll tell you now, that is supreme job from him. Absolutely fantastic driving there from Calvin. But here comes Burmeister, see if he can get past Adams. But look at Burmeister goes all out of shape there in that right-hander, and it's just not working from Adams. He's been playing sensible driving at this moment in time. He's doing supremely well, and looks like to me he's going to get this Grand Prix on lockdown. I'm watching Mansell's telemetry. It's 17.8 section, 17.5, 17.4. It's calming down, but not at a rapid pace.
It's not indeed, so I think the Inters might be the tire to go towards the end on. There is a yellow flag again down there. Oh, that's a Sauber. That's Calvin! Calvin spun! Oh no! He defended well. He defended so well against Mills, who finally gets past him, which is quite funny, but not in the circumstance you want. And now Klussler is promoted to the podium. This could be his first podium of the season. He tried it in Miami, but unfortunately, he picked himself up end plate damage thanks to Adams. But Energy Dan, the man who spun himself, is now fighting back at the podium. These two, all of a sudden, find themselves on the podium. Heartbreak for Mills and Carvin Racing. As you can see, Klussler is trying to break the slipstream and tow. This is a battle for a podium now. Who will get to Energy Dan? Tries to get the podium in the last race, I think, at the Belgian Grand Prix, but unfortunately, just lost the pace there. He was running inside the top three in the first stint, but the second stint, he didn't have the pace, and now he's all over back at Klussler. He hasn't had a podium since... Actually, I don't recall him getting the podium at all this season. He was close back in the British GP, but he picked himself up a 10-second time penalty. Let's have a look and have a quick skim through to see. No, he hasn't. So these two are looking for their first podium of the season. Which will it be?
Dan got so much confidence going into that wrong right-hander, making it the kick and the gap down close dramatically as Dan hops, skips and jumps with the curbs. But I tell you now, it went from Mills versus Calvin to now Klussler versus Dan for the final points playing possession as Dan wags the tail like a happy dog, but unbelievably holds on to that car.
Did you see that? They both made a mistake at turn 10 because they touched the inside curve and they both lost the back end as well. Energy Dan is fighting with traction. Oh, by the way, this is the last lap of the Grand Prix. Adams has got this covered, by the way, but the battle for P3 is underway between Energy Dan and Klussler. Klussler, there could be two Dutchmans on the podium, Klussler and Burmeister, but the question is, can Klussler defend from Energy Dan? He's definitely got the gap now between 6/10. All he needs to do is keep it nice and tidy. Just keep it that way. There's no need to make any sort of silly mistakes because he won't have the DRS on you, and he should be okay with the tyres as well because they're both on the same age of tyres. They'll both be struggling with the Inters on the dry conditions. So let's keep an eye on P3 and P4. Let's see if they make any mistakes towards the end of this race. But Adams, what a story this season. He picked up 2 podiums in a row this season. Dropped away in Saudi Arabia, made a big mistake, but Energy Dan is so close to the back of Klussler. He's put him. Oh, he spawned! He's spawned going down into turn 7. The podium is now going towards Klussler. But this man Adams, I want to talk about, who missed out on a win 2 races ago in a row because of a post-race penalty back at Miami, and also lost out to his teammate at the final lap of the final corner. Here he is for the 3rd time I've asked him. Adams has finally done it. He finally wins a Grand Prix, and hopefully for him it sticks this time. Calvin's got past Emils. No, he doesn't in the chicane. Emils just stays ahead. Calvin tried it around the outside, but outbroke himself and slid through the corner. He stays in P4, but the final podium spot will go towards this man in P3 in the Red Bull at his home Grand Prix. Tried it in Miami, but unfortunately made contact with Adams. He finally gets to the podium and he finishes in P3. What a race that was, Oliver. Fantastic indeed.
Unbelievable. What a race. And I'll tell you now, that was a Grand Prix to remember. Absolutely fantastic. Full of incidents, full of controversy, full of surprises. Mansell takes the fast lap of the Grand Prix for his constellations. But unbelievable. Well done, Adams. What a drive. Fantastic. And I could say anything about driver of the day here, but I can give it to Calvin, I can give it to Mansell, I can give it to Adams or Burmeister. Oh my word, I'm going to have a tough time deciding that. But well done, Adams, for his first Grand Prix victory, which is actually going to stick.
I hope it does, because I don't recall him making any mistakes or contact with people. He fully deserves this race. He fully deserves it. And I really hope this one sticks, because he needs it. After missing out in China, trying to get his first win, his teammate got him, and missing out in Miami after a post-race penalty with Klussler. For the third time of asking, he kept his head down, kept it composed, kept his thoughts to himself, and finished in P1. Did his talk on the track. So I really hope for him this one sticks for the Scotsman.
I do think so as well. I'm going to invite Burmeister and Kluster to the party. I'm not going to invite Adams because unfortunately he's too shy for interviews, but it's just fair enough to him. But did I call it? Did I call it with McLaren winning at the Grand Prix on Sunday and McLaren winning today? And Adams won the both of them in Miami and Holland tonight. Absolutely brilliant.
Hopefully for him it doesn't stay there. Adams will continue to extend his championship lead after missing out to Calvin and Cassidy. The two Saubers are looking really strong towards the first half of the season, but the McLaren of Adams looking very strong now, and he scored 3 podiums in a row. He's got 5 podiums altogether after scoring 2 of them in the first 2 races of the season. And Adams, he will not join the podium interviews, so that's fair play to him, because he has got work tomorrow. He's a very busy man, he is the Scotsman. So congratulations to a win there for Adams, and Burmeister and Klussler. Hopefully we're here for those two, the 2 Dutchmen in this race.
Probably gets a Dutch language going into the podium as well. But wow, unbelievable. What a race. Unbelievable. What a build up for tomorrow's Division 1 race tomorrow, which will be very excited to do. Burmeister will be joining in a couple of minutes, and hopefully Kluser joins as well. I think what we got tomorrow for Division 1, we got 14 drivers including me competing, along with 3 reserves. So you're talking nearly a full grid, which will be fun tomorrow. Which will be great to see. But wow, how could you call that race, Jamie? Unbelievable, what a race.
Yeah, same here. I just can't believe it, really. Klussler, if you're listening to us, mate, congratulations on your first podium of the season. You started in P13 and you made your way up through the field quite quickly, actually, as well. So yeah, congratulations towards the guys there. So Burmeister might be the only driver to hear from. He might be disgruntled after losing out to a victory, but it's his second podium this season for the Dutchman. And let's see, can he go one more better in the next race? And we'll see what the next race of the season is as well. I think it's going to be the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, which is next weekend. Klussler has joined the party. He doesn't have a headset, he says, so we can't really do this unless we text it out.
Maybe he can do it from his phone, I wonder, because there is a PlayStation app on the phone he can really try.
Oh yeah,
which has a microphone.
Klussler, if you have the PlayStation app, you could join this party and speak through your microphone that way. If not, you don't need a headset, you just need to speak like you're on a phone call with somebody.
Yeah, which is easy to do. Calendar, let's have a look. The next race is, yeah, bang on the money. It is Monza, which is next. The high speed of Monza.
And it is the Monza Grand Prix this weekend as well, so it should be interesting.
Right, I think no one is. I think hopefully Burmeister joins into the chat. Hopefully that does happen. But I'll tell you what, if we get that sort of action going into next week, which we most likely will, hopefully next week will be even more exciting. I mean, how can you top that? And kind of say big shout out to 3 drivers, which is Mansell, Calvin, and Emil's, for a astonishing battle for P3, especially Calvin with his defense work. Absolutely fantastic driving from him.
Oh yeah, that's a shame, because Kluster says no app, only Discord. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it that way, because we can't do it from Discord, because we don't have the PlayStation audio, the stream connected to Discord. I don't know how that's going to work. We don't have no ABS basically. So, Clustler, I'm afraid we can't really interview you. So, what I want to say is congratulations on your race for starting P13. The safety car really helped you, brought you to play. You didn't really make any mistakes, and you managed to pressure really well from energy down right behind you. And yeah, congratulations on your podium. Your first podium of the season, mate. So your pace has definitely improved in the last few races. So continue with that, and we'll see what happens to you for the next remaining race of the season as well. So we're just waiting for Burmeister. He keeps us waited.
Yeah, but what's your highlights of the race, Jamie? What's your highlights for that race?
Oh, my highlights. Oh, it's just the battles that's been going on throughout the whole race, really. I think the highlights with the Mills, with Energy Dan, and Cluster as well. They're all making their way up through the field. I don't know how, but Cluster made his way up to the field from starting P13. He was down near the bottom end of the field, inside the top 10. The safety car really got him up there. I think the safety car was the main highlight because that really brought the pack back together and put Burmeister down into P2. Burmeister tried it now and then, but unfortunately he had problems with traction on the exit of the corners, which allow A to just pull away slightly. So it wasn't really close enough to try and get him down into turn 1. There was that one moment where Burmeister almost had him at turn 7 because Ado's made a big mistake but kept ahead. But ever since that, Burmeister was just not close enough to make a move because it's so difficult to overtake in the rain, and he couldn't get him. Energy Dan and also Cluster fighting for P3 when Energy Dan spun out, and also Calvin spun out. I feel sorry for Calvin because he put up so much pressure. He did so much work to keep, I think it was Emil's behind at the time. He was looking on course for a podium. Yeah, put your voice on share, please, mate. Goed gedaan, vandaag. I know you're not happy, so we'll talk about why you're not happy. I presume because of that before the safety car.
Well, talk us through Burmeister. Talk us through your race. How did it go out there today with the chase with you and Adams?
Well, I think that my big fault was in the first stint to pit for the intermediate, at least with the safety car coming out, because yeah, then my strategy didn't work in the end. But and also I got held up when I was on the inters. Early I got held up by 2 SFAR guys. I don't know who they were, but they were fighting me while I was like 2 seconds quicker or something, so that put a bit of sand in my plan to say, but I really enjoyed it, especially the first 2 laps while I go from 7th or 8th to 1st, everybody struggling, and yeah, I didn't look at the weather report in qualifying, and when it was like raining like that on the grid, I was like, yes, let's fucking race.
I mean, the wet setup. Did you have a wet setup on the car?
No,
your car looks planted.
No, I didn't look at the weather report, so I was on a dry setup and pretty dry setup. So it was like lower wings than I think most people use. So like feeling where the grip is, feeling where the edge is. I enjoyed that more than. Yeah, like last year's game, it was a bit more slippery than this year's, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy rain for whenever I'm racing.
What about you, Jamie?
Well, Burmeister, every time I noticed you were close towards, I think it was Adams at the time, but fighting for P1, I think it was your problem today. Once you caught up to him in the second stint, was traction, wasn't it? Because I noticed you kept losing the back of the car. So was that the main problem for you today? Just losing traction out of corners?
Yeah, no, I don't really think so, because I'm trying to look for the limit. You know, I know I can catch the car, so I'm just trying to, because it was drying up all session long. In the beginning, it was full wet, and it was like drying up for 40 minutes the whole race. So every lap had like better grip, and I was just trying to find the limit and then go from there. But at least enemies, I want to congratulate him because I think I've been behind him for 15 laps, and I was just thinking, let's pressure him, see if he makes a mistake somewhere. But the last 15 laps, he was totally clean, so I had no chance with no DRS or something. And in the last 3 laps, I was like, yeah, okay, this is it, and he's made it, and let's congratulate him for that.
Yeah, nice respect for you there, Burmeister. It's nice to see you back at the podium too, because you have struggled in the last few races. A DNF back at, I think it was the Miami Grand Prix, and also you finished 6th at the Chinese Grand Prix. You was in that fight for the top, but unfortunately dropped out of it due to your battle, I think, with Cluster at the time, your Dutch compatriot. But yeah, it's nice to see you back at the podium, mate. Your first time on the podium since the British GP. Like he was fighting for the lead, but just too far away. So what are you expecting for the Monza Grand Prix next week, mate?
Oh, I don't know, mate, but like especially in the summer, I have so much things to do. I don't have time to practice. I can do some practices, but only like half an hour or something. But I can't really practice like I did like last year. So in winter time, in summer, it's just more busy, having fun, barbecuing with friends and that kind of shit. So I'm not really focused to do the racing in the summertime, but I think when the rain begins to fall again in Holland, I'll be back on more podiums for you.
But Burmeister, we're coming towards the end of the summer now, mate. You've only got about 5 more days left.
Well, weather's looking good in Holland for the next 2 weeks, like 25 degrees, so I'm just enjoying playing some tennis, having barbecue with friends, having fun, having dinner outside, you know, that just the normal things old people like me do.
Well, lekker. That sounds like a very nice plan indeed. So yeah, it's nice to hear you enjoy life too outside of racing, because that's very important for you.
Speaking of which, actually, Meister, since we got you on, I want to go tracking back to Sunday when the Dutch Grand Prix was on. How was Holland actually really feeling when Lando Norris crossed the line in first in an orange McLaren, but it wasn't an orange, a Dutch driver winning the Grand Prix? The track was full orange, but it was won by an orange papaya McLaren. How was your thoughts after the Dutch Grand Prix on Sunday?
I think the Dutch people are very sober on mind, you know. And like McLaren did great things out of the last, 4 months or something. And in Red Bull, they're just struggling. And if I watched onboards from the quali from Max and from Lando, and when you can see steering inputs, like Max had to put like 30% more steering input than Lando does. So in the end, that's just a simple math that the car has more grip if you have to turn less, you know. And as well, already over 70 laps or something. Yeah, if you have to steer more every corner, then your tires are gonna die, and that's what happened. But Max had the great car for like 2 or 3 years now, and now it's their turn, and I think the Dutch people accept it, and they just blame Red Bull for kicking out Newey and other good people just for the Horner problems, you know.
So in terms of going into the next race for Max Verstappen, do you think he's going to respond, or do you think McLaren are going to dominate once again?
Cool. Monza is a different track than most tracks. Huh? So I don't think Monza is like representative for like F1. It's fun. It's great fun to have one of these on the calendar, but it will just be who can go the lowest downforce and has the best engine, I think.
I think it's going to be 1-1 wings for us next week.
I was thinking about 0-0.
Oh, that could work.
Well, we'll see.
Well, what's your hope? Well, speaking of the next race, what's your hopes? Do you think you can get back here onto the top steps?
In SFR, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm not like really dedicated in the summer. I have like other things to do, so I
Yeah.
just race and enjoy the things that go well. But also last week you were mentioning Miami DNF and me, but I got wing damage turn one, lap one after the start, so I held on for 10 laps, and then I was thinking, yeah, I don't know if there was a safety car, but I wasn't waiting for it anymore. I was like, okay, I'm going outside, have a beer, and enjoy the evening instead of waiting for a safety car being in P15.
Well done to you anyway, Burmeister. And if you do turn up for the Italian Grand Prix, we're looking forward to having you back on the grid.
Well, I will be there, but the practice I don't know about, mate. But I will be there for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for commentating as well, and every week the commentating is great.
Dankjewel. Ik hou van jou.
Ja, dankjewel jongens. Fijne avond.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Goedenavond. Tot ziens. Ik
Bye
spreek je
bye,
later.
guys. Thank you.
Right, so Burmeister, the only driver on the podium interview because Adams doesn't like doing it, which is fair enough, and also Klusler, who doesn't have a mic, so that makes it easier for us too, and more questions to Burmeister, more time to talk to him, and also Oliver, nice to commentate with you again, mate. That was a fantastic race we've just done.
Awesome, and that's the Italian Grand Prix, who call it Formula NASCAR, they call it, for Monza. But it should be a really fun race going into Monza. But we're going to see how it all turns out in the end.
Yeah, so when we go to Monza next week in F1, I think it's Franco Colpatino who will join Williams for the next races onwards for 9 races, and after that Carlos Sainz will take over his seat to join Williams as a full-time driver. So we'll see you all next time at Monza for SFR for Div 3 and Div 2, but join me and Oliver back for Div 1 tomorrow at the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Let's hope this race is good as the one we've seen just so far. So we'll see you all next week, or this week, sorry, at 7:30.